Hello, everybody. We are getting all situated over here in the community workspace. Welcome to the Nervous Ghost Press Open Mic. This is called HALLOW-SCREEN. A couple years ago, we had HALLOW-SCREEN 1, and everything was virtual, and then we had, I think, 2 and 3, and it kind of changed when we went back to in-person events. But now that we have in-person and online, we gotta bring it back for Halloween. So I am dressed up as a very spooky kind of high school Matt with my. Anyways, it's awesome. I thought it was cool. Reminded me, get to go back through memories. Julian is here. He remembers high school. He's over there. No, you can't see him, but he's right there. All right. So we're Nervous Ghost Press. We are a 501c3 arts advocacy organization, and the whole purpose is making art accessible for those who need it all around the world, whenever and whoever you are. We have our monthly open mic Arts Night, which is what this is. Arts Night is an event where we can paint. Today we have pumpkins, so people can take a pumpkin, they can carve pumpkins, do some cool stuff. Some people are dressed up, which is awesome. Julian is not, which is not awesome, but that's okay. We love him anyway. You what? I'll take it. And we are here in the Community Arts Workspace, which is located about 15 miles east of downtown LA. And if you're in the area and you need a place to work that is dedicated for the arts and it's dedicated to you and the arts. So if you need a space, it's yours to write, sing, record, dance, choreograph, whatever your art is, you can use the space. Just email me, and I always say yes. There is a toaster oven, so you can bring food. There's a cool refrigerator, 2 computers if you need to type something. There's no Wi-Fi, but it's all kind of, hardlined? What's it called? Landline? Internet? Anyways, let's see what else. I have, the next open mic, the next Arts Night is going to be in November. It might be, I think that's Thanksgiving weekend, but I'll send an email out if anybody's interested. And December is going to change also. So the holiday months, it's always a little bit different, but every last Saturday, usually. And let's see, how many things do I have here? I think that's all my announcements. Oh, the waiting room. So thank you. The team is working on finalizing the submissions. I think we're down from hundreds and hundreds. We got a smaller group now, so hopefully I can start sending out acceptances and notifications soon. So just if you submitted work, stay tuned. You'll be hearing from me hopefully soon, and then we can get that that whole thing rolling. I'm going to get us started. I'll read a poem, and then I'll introduce our community guest MC. This is my Halloween poem from 2021, and I always read it on Halloween because it's called the Halloween poem. Check this out. Halloween poem. See? There's a monster inside your head. It waits until you go to bed, and while you're up and out the door, it's having dreams of you instead. With watchful eyes, it peers unseen. There's nowhere left except your dreams to face what's never less or more, and teach this beast who you have been. If ghosts would speak and sing aloud, and memories not lost but found, the windy circus hits the shore to celebrate in perfect sound. You see, there's a monster in your head that waits for you to go to bed, and while you're up and out the door, it's having dreams of you instead. So we have our community guest MC, and for those of you who are not familiar with what our community guest MC kind of program thing is it's just a community member who runs the show, and it's awesome. I think it's really cool. It gives me a break sometimes from having to talk all the time, and then it allows the voices of the community to be put up front and center in the spotlight. Everybody makes it their own. It's really nice to see. And so if anybody out there wants to be the community guest MC in the future, just email me and say, yeah, I'm down. This sounds awesome. And you get to do it. So I met this individual at AWP, right? And so AWP, and then there's the LA Festival of Books. These events are great because you get to meet people. I met Ian. Did I meet you there too? Ian, I met a lot of people who have become very important to the press, to me. And so it's really nice. And so this is another one. He's going to be a longtime friend now, right? And so please, everybody, welcome our community guest MC, Shaun Anderson.
Put your hands together. There we go. Thank you for that introduction. How's my sound?
Hold on, I gotta make sure this is working. 1 second.
Hello, everybody. So I'm from Orange County. My name is Shaun. She's actually the writer. So I tagged along with her in, what was that, March or April? March. And I don't even know the name of it. I thought it was AW 750. I thought it was Report or something. No, I'm just kidding. Is it AWP? AWP. Okay, so she's the published author. She writes, and I tagged along, and then I met Matthew and met a lot of people, and then I was like, well, you know what? I am a writer. I've been writing since I was in high school. I was the vice president of the Literary Club magazine. I have tons of poetry. I've been writing music and rap my entire life. I have so many receipt papers. I used to work in the retail business, so pulled out the printed receipt, and write down lyrics, and thousands of publications, if you call those publications. But since I went to that writers convention and I met writers and I really felt at home, I really embraced my writerness or my authorship. And so I published a magazine, my first magazine, published in May. Yeah, put your hands together. This is Virilitous Magazine. This is a martial arts-based wellness magazine for mental health. I'm a martial artist. I teach martial arts full-time. I got an interesting story, but I'll tell you more as we go on. I don't want to hog the limelight. But just real quick, I'm a suicide survivor, and I'll share that poem immediately after I introduce this magazine. Depression, I'm well acquainted with depression. I'm well acquainted with struggle and pain. And I tried to end it all in 2019, January 2nd. And after drinking all night and doing cocaine, I got enough nerve to drive my car into a telephone pole, to break my car, and to still be here with all the results. And luckily, the police officer who arrived on the scene and the paramedics, they saved my life, and they talked me into living, and they told me that I had a purpose. So I said, well, I didn't really plan on being here, so if there is a purpose, we'll see. And I gave myself a second chance. And since that time, I met my wife, and I've rehabilitated my life from a dysfunctional life to a life of empowerment, empowering others full time. So I teach children as young as 2, and I teach grown-ups all the way to 72 until they can't walk or move. And I use martial arts as a vehicle to empower others through self-defense and confidence building and goal setting. So that's the nature of the magazine. It's called Virilitous, and it's a positive masculinity magazine. And I put together a little comic book for the kids so that when they come into the dojo, they're not so scared of the tattooed, crazy-looking guy and, all the sounds. And so anyways, this was a debut of the men's magazine to help men struggle, going through the struggle, because I really didn't know where to look. And even when I had people reaching out, I still didn't know where to look. I had people give me phone numbers and hotlines. And anyways, I'm here. So thank you all for having me. Matthew, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Oh, yeah, let me read that poem. We'll kick it off. This is my poem called The Broken Heart-Shaped Entrance into Darkness. Fitting for Halloween, I suppose. There's the broken heart-shaped entrance. And join me. Every day starts with a pill, not to chill, but to keep me from feeling ill, or even feeling to feel. The biochemical romance is real. Alcohol enters my bloodstream as soon as I'm home, 3:30. Everyday ritual customized for me. Start with the pills, then consume some caffeine. No time for food, not in the mood. The drink feeds my belly, hides my hunger too. Ignition explodes, unquenchable thirst for more. No control, I've opened the door. Open the door to no support. Loneliness, depression, mental health is so poor. Chemical concoctions destroying my brain. Demons, possession, my mind is insane. Spirit is broken, as well as my heart. I search like a blind man trapped alone in the dark. Visions of death dance in my head, 24/7 while baking my bread. Making my bread, they've taken my bread. I've lost my home and myself, no more making my bed. Beaten and bruised, yeah, someone busted my head. My eyes turning dark, my soul is losing itself. I've turned on myself. I've said my goodbyes and I've cried for myself. High on cocaine, I've lied to myself. Short as the fuse, I've lighted myself. I've lost the purpose and the fight for myself. I'm driving 150, my eyes wide in this hell, looking to crash into something but failed until I pulled off on a farm road, long road, tall pole, pedal to the metal, must go. Full steam ahead, let's go. No turning back from this, go. It's now or never, let's go. I love you forever, let's go. I tried my best, let's go. It wasn't enough, let's go. It's time to go, let's go. And that's my poem. Thank you, thank you. Anybody want to come up and take the mic? All right. Justin?
That's me.
Let's give it up for Justin.
Just give me a second here. I'll do 2 new ones. Okay. So, all right, a little background, not too much. So maybe a week or 2 ago, I was reading some poetry by a gentleman named Jericho Brown. And Jericho Brown had created his own poetry form called a duplex. Like a haiku is its own form, Jericho Brown created his own form. And a duplex is a combination of things. It starts like a little blues poem, and then there's a ghazal, and then there's only 14 lines, so there has some sonnet components. And so I decided that I was going to create my own poem form. I call it a callback. It starts as a blues poem, which is inspired by Langston Hughes, black dude, if you didn't know, or African American. So anyway, so then it's tied together. It goes from a blues poem and it finishes with what's called a easy bongo, which is a South African praise poem. So the attempt, what I tried to do, was I tried to create like a diasporatic poem connecting an African American poem tradition to a South African praise poem tradition. These 2 traditions, I'm connecting them with what's called a chiasmus. Ask not what your country can do from you, but what you can do for your country. ABBA. So that's what connects these 2 thingies. And this is a new poem form that I'm testing out. So if you would like to know more, or you would actually like to write one, let me know. So hopefully, yeah. So anyway, and the idea about these is that they should all feel like some resilience. It starts as a blues poem, which is a lament, wham, 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 and then turns into a praise. So hopefully it takes you on this little journey. I've said a lot. Let's see if I can do one at least. Okay. This one's called Galaxy. Okay, so blues poem, chiasmus, easy bongo, the combo, I call it a callback. Here we go. This is Soul Foil 6, Galaxy. I live where they smeared sin on my face. A smiling, bleeding gums place. A disease was bred when power maintained race. Power maintained race. Race maintains power. Race maintains power and reflects the self-deceit society dresses itself in. But you are not reflection. Your parents are space travel. You are the black hole that gives glimmer to the Milky Way. You are the resounding polyphonic mothership accretion disk, the wonder sound Saturn rings spun and sung about. You are not the color black. You are galaxy. You are the Statarian shine of mother stars that have collapsed back into the sun. You are the obsidian spaceman walking on Neptune, lassoing a solar eclipse. Blessed is the fruit from the celestial boab tree picked from beforehands to nourish the afterwards. Honor your hand-picked smooth radiance. Welcome the world to spin, unsmeared in your deep space hands of agency. You are galaxy. There's number 1. All right. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to try this other one if there's time. Yeah. All right, yeah. So this one is Soul Foil 5, and this one's Time and Reality. And again, the little form I'm trying to make. So here we go. This again, Soul Foil 5, Time, Reality. I'm so busy, I don't have time to myself. Excuse me, let me start that over. I'm so busy, I don't have time to talk to myself. So overwhelmed, might have to unfollow myself. Time is a river that flows back onto itself. Time is a distortion of reality, and distortion is time in the artificial era. Distortion is time in the artificial era. Seek sincerity in carbon connections. Interconnection is free, and the web of humanity breathes deeply in a deep embrace. Celebrate the hugs and the handshakes at any moment. People can drift distant clicks away. Bless the minutes between hoping and achieving. Palms in countenance to the sky, waiting for the spring petrichor to slow dance with your face. Prepare a place to freeze time and walk with yourself through the city and drag your feet in the sand along the shoreline. Exhort the distortion and stop time. Flip the Gregorian to the 13-month. Innovate and rejuvenate in a time made just for you. Catch the distortion falling from the hourglass and stuff your pockets full. You are the men and women that can make time wait. So what are you waiting for? That's all I got today.
All right, thank you for that. That was excellent. I just love being in the same room with people that do writing and all that stuff. I've kind of been a solo artist myself, I guess. Not really joined any groups or clubs as, outside of the high school club that I was in. So being here with you guys is special for me. So thank you guys. This is awesome. My wife is my muse and my inspiration. After I try to get rid of myself, I came down to Orange County from Northern California, Santa Cruz, Bay Area, San Francisco, all that stuff. So I lived up there for 22 years working retail. I used to manage grocery stores, dealt with thousands, millions of people. So I'm a people person, but as far as sharing my most innermost treasures with people, that's something I never really do. There's certain things I've always kept sacred and safe, but I'm in the phase now where I'm starting to share that. But my wife is the one who inspired me, so I would like to call her up here because she wrote something that was in the magazine. We asked people to answer the question, what do you think masculinity is? Or what does it mean to be a man? And I asked that to as many people as we could. And we asked that to a lot of people at the AWP, right? Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of great submissions. What's that?
I think we asked Matt.
Yeah. So, we got a lot of people were involved in the making of this. So I'd like to invite Taylor because she had something that was inspired by her father who passed away a couple years ago. And she's one of the few women I've met who had a successful, healthy relationship with her father. And that really surprises me, honestly. I had a previous marriage, and it was dysfunctional, completely dysfunctional. And so going back into the dating scene, I was wondering if I was born for a different age as I started to date lots of people and try to figure out my way. I almost gave up on having a successful relationship. I didn't think it was going to be possible anymore. Anyways, I met her, and she's changed my view and everything. So let's give Taylor a round of applause. Come on up, Taylor.
I know you said that you had to leave soon, though, right? Do you want to go first?
I appreciate the no, do your thing.
Okay, thank you. It will be quick.
No, please take your time, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Taylor. I wrote this poem about my dad. It's called Singing in the Shower. When I was in the first grade, I made the mistake of telling a boy that I liked to sing in the shower. He laughed, and I almost learned that I should make myself smaller. Before shrinking, I decided to tell my dad what happened, my eyes filling with tears as I relived the moment and braced myself for more laughter and a much more resonant baritone. But my dad wasn't typical. When we watched basketball together, it was so he could point out that Kobe Bryant tap danced to become a better player. A daughter who sang in the shower, it was actual music to his former theater kid ears. You know what you tell that boy, he asked me, and I didn't. You say, yes, I can sing in the shower, and you can buy my album, but it isn't cheap. So instead, I learned that you can laugh at everything, even at other people's attempts to shrink you, even at yourself. You can move through life and play it like a game. You can have no regrets, even when you make mistakes. And maybe he was none of those things to himself, but that's what he was to me. Thank you.
So I thought that put a spotlight on a positive masculinity idea, and it was a good father who gave encouraging words to his daughter, and for that I'm thankful. Just that there's a positive role model for masculinity I'm thankful for that. Ma'am, would you like to come up and share?
Sure.
What's your name?
Yes, D'Angela.
D'Angela, right? Yeah. All right, D'Angela, come on up. Let's give her a round of applause. Welcome her to the spot.
Hello, everyone. Matt, thanks again for holding this space. It's always nice to share and hear other people and see new people, for me at least. Okay, I will read. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. God is an orchard tree, sweet, filled with ancient wisdom and destiny. Bountiful are your leaves. I only eat from your tree. I feast on reds, yellows, and greens, sours and sweets. You provide plenty, and you give me room to breathe. I am enlivened and revitalized by your energy and vitality. A single bite of your fruit changes my chemistry, my biology, and my physiology. God, you are my favorite orchard tree, sweet. I delight in only eating from your orchard. I have tasted your splendor on my tongue, and you remind me of your abundance when I bite into your apples and watch the overflow of juice fall onto my chest. Your fruit are charismatically waiting to be bitten into with ready teeth, to spritz and cause me to break into a girlish laugh, tickled at the gentle refresh on my face. Your truth is on my lips. I taste your goodness when I wake, sleep, and go about my day. God is an orchard tree, sweet. There are millions of seeds inside of me. I will plant all my trees right next to yours. I'll belong to a long-lasting dynasty of sweet, sweet living. Thank you.
All right, thank you, D'Angela. That was fantastic. That reminds me of a psalm, Psalm 1. I remember when I was in Orange County in my recovery, right when COVID happened, and so while everybody was having toilet paper fiascos, I had toilet paper, and I had food, and I had all my needs met, and I was stressing out because my time at the rehab was going to end, and I had no place to go because my life had been destroyed, and so I wasn't quite sure how that was going to work out. And when I was taking a shower, I felt like I heard the voice of God tell me, "You're so worried about tomorrow, you're not experiencing your provision today." And so I was moved by that, and I realized I'm in a mansion at that point, taking a shower. We had an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and I would swim an hour a day. And I said, I should start praying for that hour while I'm swimming so that I'm exercising my soul and my spirit as well as my body. So I started to swim an hour a day. And I was swimming an hour a day, but I started to pray. So, praying for an hour, that takes a long time. After a little bit, you run out of things to pray about 20 minutes. And then you're wondering, what else should I pray about? And I've done all-night prayer meetings. I could figure out things to pray. But the message I got was, you're spending so much time talking to me, you should listen. And I said, oh, okay, I'm going to spend the time listening, which is meditation. And so as I was swimming, I opened my mind and then downloaded Psalms 1. And it said, as I was swimming with goggles on, holding my breath, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, or stands in the way of the sinner, or sits in the seat of the mocker, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And on the law he meditates day and night, and he's like a tree planted by rivers of water, which yields its fruit to every season, and whose leaves does not wither. And then it said, not so the wicked. They don't prosper. They're like chaff that's driven away by the wind. But the righteous will stand in the place of the assembly at the end days, basically. So anyways, it was a powerful message. And I said, wow, I should meditate on the law of the Lord. And so I said, what's the law of the Lord? And it was to love God as you love, to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. This is the fulfillment of the law. So my worship to God and my act of worship is to love and to lead with love and to empower. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm doing what I do. Matthew, is there someone waiting on Zoom that wants to jump on? Okay. Sounds good. Welcome, Alicia. Let's put our hands together for Alicia.
Thank y'all for having me. Missed y'all last month. I've got 4 poems. The first one was inspired by Frida Kahlo. It's called Fractured Beauty. In a painted reality, an impossible to ignore raw icon with thick eyebrows and a steady gaze, adorned in flowers and a thorned necklace, sits at the wounded table with a tray of poppies, an unfiltered testimony and confession of a shielded voice and open body, possessing roots of rage, fragility, miscarriages, surgeries, along with physical and mental pain. A surreal self-portrait of conflicting identities and survival, the ultimate transformation of tragedy and suffering into visual and legendary art, whom the world tried and failed to silence. Thank you. The next one is Gathering Hunter. In a gluttony enslaved world, like vultures and raccoons, devouring the dead, as well as feasting on scraps and residue, I am a scavenger, extracting and collecting discarded and rejected leftovers. Show me the howled whispers, quieted gasps, wounded hearts, bruised scars, the ugly but true bits and pieces that others have no use for, but are unsure of what to do with. Give them to me. I have use for them. They are nourishment for survival, the unfinished fables and incomplete stories, the abnormal treasures, along with the curiously haunted masterpieces of oddity, unwanted specimens, and peculiar possessions that cannot go into the garbage, but cannot stay at home. And the last one, I think I read this for Nova's Ghost a couple of months ago, but it's Halloween themed, so I'm reading it again. It consists of song titles. It's one of the first poems I've written. It's called Macabre Mayhem. In your haunted head, somebody's watching me, burning for you, in a fire of unknown origin, while my eyes without a face haunt every breath you take. Amid the season of the witch, a comfortably numb witchy woman with separated out freaks invade the zombie zoo down on the corner of Baker Street and Electric Avenue. Zombie bastards bark at the moon, while the summer cannibals invite the devil woman with Betty Davis eyes to dine on the skin and bones of the purple people eater. A hungry like the wolf man eater woke up with the monster burning down the house. On the crazy train bound for destination unknown, bypassing the road to nowhere, there is a ghost with 2 tickets to paradise, waking the witch during the science fiction double feature because Bela Lugosi's dead in Ghost Town. At sundown, Werewolves of London crash the Dead Man's Party hosted by the ghost of a Texas ladies' man, while an uninvited guest and Dark Lady perform the time warp. Fighters on the storm, along with gypsies, tramps, and thieves, eat monster mash and drink red, red wine. A half-breed spirit in the sky and an imaginary lover waltz the ghost dance. During the celebration on Saturday in the park, the witch doctor, using weird science, concocts a strange brew for Rio, the killer queen. On Manic Monday, Fernando and Jolene drink Love Potion number 9, infused with black water, gin, and juice. Welcome to my nightmare in the Twilight Zone. It's a thriller with a bad romance. Thank y'all for having me.
Alicia.
Thank y'all for having me. And
What's
your
that?
poem, thank you for having me. And I loved your poem, Shaun. It was wonderful. I'm following you on Instagram now.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. By the way, yeah, my Instagram is Beastman_Anderson. Instagram, LinkedIn. Oh, my God. TikTok, all of them. Facebook, YouTube. So I teach martial arts full time. Since we're in the Halloween scary time and season, we'll talk about self-defense. So self-defense seminars. I had a kids program. We did a ninja night the other day. So I was teaching kickboxing, fitness, kickboxing, and I teach traditional martial arts, and I have successful private client lists. And then the kickboxing, there was some transition in that. That's where I met my wife. She was my student at one point. Still is for kickboxing. Now she beats me up, tells me what to do. So anyways, I had some transition where I quit teaching the fitness kickboxing. This was in May. And so that freed up some time. And instead of investing that into another class to teach, I started investing that into myself using ChatGPT and Gemini and all the tools, Grok. And in over 90 days, I created an empire called Lotus Enterprise and Grandmaster's Mind Cord, which is an AI martial art intelligence-based app that will have all of the information of martial arts available at its fingertips for people who are interested in nerding out on that type of stuff. And I'll skip to the other part. It started off as me keeping tracks of my forms like this, a hash mark. This is a form called Taeguk Yukjang. It's a Korean Taekwondo form. And I would do a hash mark 1. And when I do it again, number 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, you do the little diagonal hash mark. And then I would keep track and say, oh, I did that 20 times on Thursday. And then I did it 13 times on Friday. And then eventually I changed my format. And I created this for the kids where they could do the same thing, but it looks a little nicer, right? A form tracker. And then I started drawing. I was like, I want to make a comic book. And I showed you guys in the magazine the little comic book that kind of turned out. And now I combined the tracker and the comic book to create an app that now you can scan this QR code. And there's a fully integrated app that I created and I built. I never thought I would build an app. But anyways, it has all the kicks that we teach. It has all the forms that we teach, over 20 forms, weapons forms, advanced black belt forms, basic forms, forms I create for preschoolers. It's got the schedule of every class that we do so the kids can participate in leading a class or just the parents can know when the class is. It has our complete curriculum on there, our Hapkido techniques, self-defense techniques. The most important part is the kids were tracking their forms with that paper and they were doing 900 times a month. And it was showing in their test. When they did their test, you could see a big difference because obviously they were practicing. And so we turned that from a paper into an app that is fully integrated with the artwork. And I did that in 90 days just because I invested into myself and I was creative. And I started keeping track of my ideas. Instead of thinking about something and then driving to work and then working all day and never doing what I thought about, I started spitting it out into my notes. And then when the AIs happened, I started taking my notes and throwing them into the AI and said, what can we do with this? And then all my thoughts that I've been sitting on for about 4 or 5 years, I fully integrated into all the AIs. I have a whole team of AIs working for me. Some of them I created. I created over 100 different GPTs just in chat. I have several different channels on Gemini. And then I got Grok. So I programmed and seeded them to think how I want them to think. And now I drag and drop and drag and drop. And I have my notes and I keep it all organized there. And when I want to finally synthesize and integrate it, I finalize my product and I put it up to the drive on the cloud. And so now I've got full comic books for my preschoolers that are coloring books. I've got full art-based comic books like the 70s Superman, Batman with the heroes I created in the Heroverse, all martial art based on students, real characters at the school. And then we've got the men's magazine, which is Virilitas. And then I'm starting the Korean Tai Chi called the Ki Cho Ja Ki, which means ringing out energy, cultivating exercise. And that's all done through breath. So my point of this story was in 90 days, I created something that I could easily have not created. because I was able to set aside time and prioritize my creativity with the powers I've been given as a soul on this planet for this time where we're at here now. I've taken what I've learned, good and bad and the ugly, and I synthesized it and created a product. The app is free. The magazines are for sale. I'm trying to fund our living so we can go and empower others. And as a matter of fact, we're going to Kenya in February. She teaches Afrobeat, so we're going to go hang out in Kenya with some friends. Mombasa, is that right? Mombasa, okay. Nairobi, Mombasa. So anyways, my point is this. Your creativity can empower you. And that's why I'm so excited to be here with Matthew, is he created a space for all of us to bring what's our treasures and to share them with each other. So thank you, Matthew. Shout out to Matthew. Now, Marcus. Is there Marcus in the house? No. John. John in the house? I forgot your name, my friend. Jose, you want to come up?
I got to tune this first, so if someone could go up and I'll tune this.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Anybody want to come up? I have names, but if I don't know what your names are.
Also, just a pause. That was super timely for the conversation that I walked in on when you guys were talking about AI utilization and sort of like the benefits of how to incorporate it into like everything that you're doing. So just the synchronicity of hearing that after that is just awesome. So
Thank you.
and he's thinking about doing like workshops and stuff here. So I'm not like volunteering anybody, but like, there's clearly a lot of knowledge going on here.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, my wife's been doing the same thing with the other pillar in our brand of ecosystem. We've got the Heroverse for the kids, the Virilitas for the men. She's got the Creatress for the women, and she helps with cycle syncing, dance, energy, movement, breath. I don't know if you want to talk more about that. Why don't you come up here and say it? Yeah, that's what we're here for. And if anybody wants to jump in, we're going to have Jose, right? Jumping in on the guitar. Until then, Taylor, you want to jump up here real quick and share a little? Oh, the app is called the Heroverse Tracker. And it's a private app. It's a web-based app because I could put it in the App Store and charge for it, but it wouldn't make sense. It's a niche market. I'm giving it away for free as a proof of concept. And then when I take it to investors and say, look, I've got merch, I've got this, I've got that, I've got a whole empire. And I have all this stuff, and I'll share more as we go out through the night. But this went from idea to reality. This is real stuff, and it's just amazing. And it hasn't even hit me what I've done yet, but it's pretty cool. Go ahead and share. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I write. So I teach dance, and I also write. But my stuff is all about like cycle syncing. So like if you menstruate, just like eat, exercise, try to schedule your day and like your creativity around your cycle so that you're kind of like moving in sync with it rather than just like fighting against it, which I've had a lot of like issues in that area. And I feel like nobody really talks about it, and we're always taught to like, I don't know, just keep it like really hush hush. So I'm trying to like just bring more education to people about like what is happening in different weeks of your cycle. Yeah, that's on the writing side. And then I teach dance as well. I teach belly dance, and I teach Afrobeats and hip hop. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I published a book. So my father, he passed away 4 years ago. But before that, we were writing his memoir together. So he had like a crazy life story where he was a cop at a very young age, and he saw a lot of corruption in the police force in Buena Park, actually. And he tried to like report it, and he was kind of like pushed out, like, no, we're just going to keep, doing things how we're doing, and you need to go. So he left, and he kind of like became a criminal for many years. And yeah, I just had like a crazy story. So we wrote it together for years, and then he passed away. But like right before he passed away, he got it accepted to get published. So I like went through the process in his honor, and now we did it. Yeah, so I'm super honored to like be able to share his story. Yes, thank you. It's called 211 Blue, The Story of the Chameleon Cop, and it's available on Amazon. I did not bring any copies with me tonight, actually.
To live in blue?
211 Blue. So, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. 211 is a police code for something. I won't say what. I don't want to give it away too much. But, yeah, so 211 Blue, The Story of the Chameleon Cop by William and Taylor Engel. On Chameleon Cop. Yeah. By William and Taylor Engel, Engle. And you get it on Amazon. That's it right now. Or from me in person. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for letting me. anyone else going to read, or we're just waiting on?
Well, I can take that spot. Where do you want to sit down? Still waiting for Jose. Okay. Anybody want to come up and share? Does anybody have anything else? I can share for all night. I'm good. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, there we go. And what's your name again?
Shy.
Shy?
Yeah.
Shy. Give it up for Shy.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I've ever written anything Halloween themed. I don't think I have, but this one's pretty close. It's a little bit old. I wrote this. I moved to LA about 3 years ago now from the Inland Empire, and then before that from the Midwest. And I wrote this the first day I came to LA. And it's called Plastic Michael Myers Mask. When you're a kid, you think movie blood is made of ketchup. But now, turning 30, drinking an old-fashioned at some rundown bar in Hollywood, the guy next to me is yapping about how movie blood is mostly corn syrup, food coloring, dishwashing liquid. The dishwashing liquid helps give it the right viscosity. The black-haired, thin-faced actress hopeful sitting beside him is nodding, fixing her halter top, pulling down her checkered skirt. And then, in what feels like a second, flannel shirt and neck tats busts in through the door, pushes Mr. Movie Blood off the stool, and his head bounces off the tile floor. The guy across the bar top mouths, "Fuck." Actress hopeful is up and she's screaming. The Weekend continues blaring through the speakers. Mr. Movie Blood sits up, wipes the back of his head, and his hand comes back smeared red. But it's too thick. The color is too bright. It's a little too runny. The viscosity is off. I turn back around. Nothing is ever like the movies. Yeah. All right. And then maybe I'll read one more. This is a newer one. It just got accepted to Angel City Review. Go submit there. Great journal. This one's called "An Elephant is Sprinting Through the Room and the Flies Are Everywhere and I Am Hyperfixating on Invisibility." Picture this. I'm sitting against a New England window, back to another forgettable summer, my foot restless on the wood, tap, 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 full of bread and gin and 22. Picture the director, fleece button-down, brown loafers, very Vermont chic. He has a sudden heart attack. The thud is heard on the set, but the cameras keep rolling. The cameras always keep rolling. Pan back to me. My hands shredding screenplay, fingers curling, uncurling, pieces flying just out of reach. A sandhill crane migration. Zoom to the heroine. Clear skin, fan favorite, she is staring at me. Her blue eyes pleading, say the right line, say the damn right line. I know she means well, but I am still learning to be human, still learning how to assemble an apology, still learning the script, still learning how to smile at the audience. Can we please just turn the cameras off? I just need a minute. Thank you.
Ready? All right, and we welcome Jose to the mic. Give Jose a round of applause.
So I'll just be playing one song. This is called You Know Nothing. And you know nothing of how the sun works, only how its presence makes your day better, how it brings out the blueness of the sky, and how that matches your favorite sweater. Yeah, you're thankful for the path out of the murk, but you know nothing of how the sun works. and you know nothing of how a heart beats, only how it feels when we're together. You prescribe a name to the event and spell it out with 4 letters. And in the waning of passion's heat, you realize you know nothing of how a heart beats. And you know nothing of how beauty becomes, only how it can lure and deliver. You reach for the gold at the bottom and forget the rich waters of the river. And in your golden thirst, you come undone, 'cause you know nothing of how beauty becomes. And you know nothing, but it's not from a lack of trying. You've exhausted all the resources, and your results seem true when you feel like the world is lying. So like the fearful flight of a dove, you retreat 'cause you know nothing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jose. Fantastic song. Is there a name for that song?
What?
Is there a name for that song?
You know nothing.
You know nothing. Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's give him another round of applause. Thank you for sharing.
Any way to follow or access anything?
Just my name, Jose Cubillas. Jose M. Cubillas. Just Google it. It'll be the first thing that shows up. As my name.
Jose M. Cubillas.
Yes.
How do you?
Cubias.
Cubias. Awesome. Excellent. All right. Great job. Beautiful song. I love it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
All right. So anybody here right now wants to come up? Chilling? Matthew, anybody waiting to come up on the web? Oh, well then I'll just fill the space then for a second. All right. So my goal is to empower people. So I figured out, okay, what is my goal? I survived. God must have saved me. That's what people said. So I came up with a poem and I said, I searched for death, but death wouldn't face me. I must be blessed. God must have graced me. So I came down to Orange County and I went to the AA meetings. I didn't know that Carl Jung helped create the AA program. Did anybody know about that? Yeah, fascinating. Now it has a lot of credibility now. Oh, Carl Jung. But it's true. Carl Jung, a Swedish psychologist, randomly almost didn't say something, but he did say, he said people need, he told somebody specifically who went there to deal with alcoholism, he said, you need a spiritual awakening. That's what you need. And that's the core of the message. So when I was in the room sharing my story, which I hated telling the story, I hated it, and I still hate telling it, but I see the powerful message it has to inspire others. So I continue to share it. And as much as I would like to move away from that story of attempted suicide, it's a shameful thing, and everybody who was affected, it's a hard thing, but it's a true thing, and it's a powerful thing. And the fact that I came out of that and I said, okay, I'm going to give God a chance, or the universe a chance, or whatever, propaganda aside, let's see what's going on. And I got down on my face, naked before the Maker, and I said, here I am, take me, show me, I'll listen. And I was headed to Albertsons. I had $20 in my pocket, and I was living at a sober living house, wondering what I was going to do for the following week for money and everything. I had no car. And we're talking about a guy who's lost everything, and you're in your 40s. It's not the coolest thing ever. So anyways, still jogging, still working out, jogged to Albertsons, and I go inside, and I see a homeless lady outside asking for spare change, and I'm like, I wish I got $20 myself. I don't know how I'm going to do it myself. And I went inside and I bought a couple things and I came back out and I heard the voice. I don't know who it was, but it was like, oh, you said you're going to listen. Give her the $20. I'm like, that's all I got. That's all I got in there. I don't know what the plan is to get more. Give her the $20. I turned around and took the headphones out and I gave her the $20, and that woman was so blessed. And she was, thanking me and all that good stuff. And I just said, you're welcome, and I started to walk away. And then I think I had another 5, and God was like, give her that other 5. I was like, you need to just relax. I need to be able to get something for myself. No, I'm just kidding. But I learned a powerful lesson. I gave that woman the $20. And, if anybody's been in that situation, you get tenfold, a week later or the next day. And that's how it's been. Ever since I gave my heart and life to love, I can look back and it looks like I've been walking the road like on purpose, the narrow path with all the provision. But every day going there, you don't know what's going on. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? You look back and you're on every step. And there's a verse that says the steps of the righteous are ordered by God or something like that. But I just want to go where the steps are supposed to go. And so I'm not sure how I got here or who put me here, what the plan was. Maybe I put myself here to live and experience this, and maybe we're all one, and maybe you and I are the same, and we'll figure that out at some point. But until then, I know that my marching orders is to love my wife and do my best and love children and love everybody and listen, ask questions. Don't judge, because that person is me and I am you. And that's where I operate. And so now I teach children and I empower children. And so I created a program called the Sacred Path. And it was based on a STORM program that stands for Special Team of Role Models. And it's a leadership role model mentorship program. So I take these students and they pay for 10 sessions, which is 10 Saturdays. Today was one of them, from 12:30 to 1:45, 45-minute class. And I have 10 weeks, 10 Saturdays to instill whatever I can, whatever I want for these kids for their life. And the premise is I'm going to teach you how to teach a martial arts class, but I need to download as much powerful information that will steer them on the right path until then. So what do I have? I've got the Sacred Path. And again, this is a proof of concept. These are all filled out homeworks of the kids for the past 7 weeks, because we got 3 weeks to go. This is my own original art created with the AI based on the kids and based on true stories, or the story of the Monkey King. We all know about the Monkey King, ancient Chinese legend. Let's see, we got lots of, that was week 6. Well, anyways, let me just pull out this other thing here. That's all homework, so this is not homework. This was week 7. We had the fox, and this message was about the fox was not known for strength, but for vigilance. And while other heroes slept or played, the fox was always ready. He showed up before the sun was up, checked the path, and made sure all the equipment was safe. The other heroes knew they could rely on him completely. Master A, that's me, taught them reliability is the quiet power that protects the entire team. You don't need a loud voice to be the most important part of the squad, although a loud voice helps. We talked about the role of the timekeeper as a leader, the role of the equipment manager as the leader, the prepared warrior as a leader, always showing up early, dressed, and focused, ready to work. The homework I gave these kids today was to show up for one commitment this week 5 minutes early. The other homework was do one chore or task completely without being asked twice. As a matter of fact, I said, I want you to go inside your parents' brain and figure out what they want you to do without them having to ask you, and I want you to do it, and I want you to tell them thank you for bringing you to Taekwondo. And of course, the parents love that. And, maybe the parents will get their car washed, or maybe they'll get dinner made or something like that. But the point is I'm teaching the kids to deal with all the things that we deal with in the adult world, like being on time, being ready, and being smart and being responsible. And these kids are, the youngest I have is 7. And 8 is the cutoff, but I let a 7-year-old go in there because she's really smart. She's cute. She actually inspired Bunny. Let me find this real quick. Oh, that's Bunny. Bunny is my real small 7-year-old. She inspired a coloring book called Bunny Ties Her Belt. Anyways, the point I was making, I forgot where all my stuff was. Oh. Teaching these kids how to show up and to be a leader. And at 8 years old, all the way to 13, 14, they're already leaders. And they're showing up. And we got a program that I created, a preschool program called the Little Dragons. Started with 0 preschoolers. And now we've got 25 preschoolers in there doing stances. You can't see that on the camera, but it looks pretty amazing. And to see human potential at 2, that's what I'm talking about. You could put your kid on an iPad, or you could teach them a form that they have to memorize, 10 moves, 20 moves, and they're building their hips and their ankles and their knee strength at 2, at 3, at 5. So that's the world I live in. And that's just the kids. I got private clients that I teach the whole family and the parents, and everybody has their own specific workout they're doing. But my point is this, like, my goal is to help people tap into their godness, you know, that we were created in the image. There's something about us. We're special. We're here because we're creators. All of us are creators. We have the power to manifest. We have a thought and we make it a word, and then we materialize it in this realm, and then we make our hands do something that creates. Maybe we draw a sketch, just like I drew that sketch. And then pretty soon it turns into something. And then hopefully it helps your community. Hopefully it uplifts. Hopefully it protects. Hopefully it empowers. So that is called the Sacred Path, and that program is 7 weeks in. We got 3 weeks to go, and I'm proud of that program. And maybe I'll monetize that and sell that to other martial art leaders who are trying to create a similar program. But that's one other thing that I've done to empower others. Is there anybody else who would like to share something that they're working on, something they've created, or something that uplifts others in their community? If not, I'll tell you another story. Anyone? Taylor, do you want to share anything? No? Okay. All right, well then let me talk about the podcast. This is the Virilitous magazine, Sacred Masculinity for Men. I created a GPT called, what is the name of it actually? It's Virilitous. Virilitous means sacred masculinity. But anyways, it's a GPT that'll take a man through the journey of becoming a man. In this day and age, all these different generation names, Generation Z, Y, X, I don't know what they are anymore. Alpha, we're into alpha and beta now? I'm not sure. But the need for mentorship is necessary. The need for men to mentor other men and women to mentor other women, or people just to mentor each other in this time, because things are crazy. We got technology that's evolving exponentially. Our culture and society and the way we've done things for thousands and thousands of years are shifting. And we're still struggling with the same questions. Who are we? Where are we coming from? Where are we going? Those things never change, but now it's a lot more complex with digital space and AI and all the knowledge that we have at our fingertips. Imagine having all of the knowledge available for the whole eternity, but you don't know what questions to ask. It's all there, but you got to figure out where to go, what to look for. And that's where some of us are at. And then the other, a few of us have found a couple things that we're latching onto, and we think that that's the direction that we're supposed to go. For me, being a spokesperson for positive masculinity is something I can do because it speaks of my life, where I'm at now. It's real. It's true. And this is my story. This is why I'm here. The only reason I'm here is because I survived. And I had to figure out what to do with the aftermath. And so I'm here now. I created this magazine. So then I said, okay, I want to create a GPT that will take somebody through this like a portal. This is my first magazine, and it's raw, and it's cool. I love it, of course. There's a lot in here, but it's just the beginning. So it's going to get better and better and better and better. We have something in here called the hero's handshake. I devised that for my self-defense program because there's 5 fingers on the hand. It's easy to remember. You need awareness, you need confidence, you need power, you need kindness, you need mercy. Those are the 5 fingers of self-defense. It's called the hero's handshake. I created that so I could communicate empowerment to children. There's an article on it here. But the thing I'm going to put in here is, if you look on this magazine, I've got a QR code that takes you to one of my YouTube videos so you can get a 5-minute workout exercise warm-up that I normally do for all my people. There's another one with the Tai Chi, the Korean Tai Chi. So I said I can do an interactive magazine. So what if I put a QR code that links straight to my GPT that I created that has his personality, the virilitous guardian of masculinity, and he can have fun and we're talking about Freemasons and esoteric knowledge and all that cool stuff. What if this guy said, hey, I'm going to walk you through being a man, and you're going to go through the first phase of this as an initiate, and then I'm going to unveil some sacred knowledge for you, and then I'm going to give you some more power, and you're going to become a creator. And there's different phases of a man's life, like the healer, the warrior, the king. When they retire, they become a sage, right? Wise, leading others. So I created a tarot card deck with all those elements. I don't have it on me right now. I'm still in production, but I actually have pictures on my phone. And if I had the tarot cards, and I had a magazine with the GPT, and I have an app that's called Virilitous, I haven't made it yet, but you see where I'm going with it. This can take somebody, I'm speaking to men, but this message is for anybody. Here's the cards. Let's see. So this right here is the inner awakening. Judgment used to be like there'd be a grim reaper and like standing, but this judgment is somebody finding himself. This is like the Alex Gray type, esoteric, psychedelic type thing. Let's see. I want to get to these archetypes because we're talking about Carl Jung. Here's the protector. There's a guy there with this kid. There's the builder. He's building a pyramid. It's just a card. But men build. People build. There's the warrior, the archetype of the warrior. So these are classic archetypes for men. And, he's got tattoos like me. So what's not to love? You know what I'm saying? So it's a deck of cards, but each deck has a meaning and a vision and an archetype, and you can compare it with yourself. And if that guardian was a real person and he held the secrets of masculinity and positivity and how to be powerful and kind and merciful in the best way you could think of, the best dad you ever wanted, and he was there to guide you through, would we do it? Would we care if it was free? If we charged money for it? Is anybody interested? Don't answer. These are just rhetorical questions. But is there a market for empowerment? I see a lot of people offering empowerment on TikTok and all those things, right? There's a lot of things out there. A lot of the pyramid schemes, a lot of the circles where they just go around in circles. But I'm trying to use my information and my story and everything I've amassed. I've taken it and I've put it into these characters and into these publications as a fun way to share. So my point was, if I can... I set this up so I could easily find things, but then I messed it all up. The Virilitas, here we go. This is the podcast right here. So we're on the second episode of the podcast. First episode was July. Second episode was 3 weeks ago. And we're going to do more and more and more. And how I got this set up, I'm doing TikTok Live or Instagram Live. So I got one phone watching it. My buddy's got his iPad. And then I run it through a transcriber. I'll post it on YouTube, get the transcription, drop that into another thing online that pulls the transcript. And then I have all the content of that hour with me and whoever was talking, all of our ideas and thoughts, synthesize it. And then you create essays, articles. I throw it on LinkedIn. And I'm creating publications out of those things. So I don't have to create content more than once. I create it one time, I capture it, and then I'm like a butcher. I bought a cow, I'm going to create my steaks, my rump roast, my this, that, the other, bone marrow soup. So I'm taking all the information that I have, and I'm just throwing it out there. And something's going to stick at some point, and if not, I've done my best, and I've shared my message. So on that note, does anybody want to come up and share?
I'll share something. Is anybody on the Zoom, Matt? Not on Zoom. No? Okay, I can just share it right here.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
No, for the YouTube video, you have to be on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Get your 15 minutes.
It's not so much of a poem, but it sort of was inspired to sort of share because of what you shared.
Let's give D'Angelo a round of applause. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, so again, if you didn't hear me, it's not a poem, but it's like writing around really understanding our identity and who we are as creator and creation. So again, it's not a poem. I am creator and creation. Whatsoever creator asks of creation, it must come forward and into being. Creation obeys creator. Creator calls into being that which creator already equipped and designed creation with. So nothing is outside of creation. Creator does not go outside of itself to create. Creator creates from within. Wait, where did I go? I told you it is a bit of a, hold on. Okay, maybe that's where I started to ramble. Okay, we'll stop right there. But the point being is I wanted to share that part about understanding those parts of our identity, which Shaun already explained so well. And it was just so aligned because I just sort of like wrote this at some point, and I was like, this is so important to know that it's already in us. It's already in, so to reach inside of self. And it is not anti-collaboration. It actually supports collaboration, because if I know that I have that ability, then I'm confident enough to work with counterparts and other collaborators to be able to bring that stuff forth. And you can recognize, I can sit across and recognize, oh, Shiraz is also a creator. And so, yeah, it's a way to really amplify who we are and what's already available to us. So thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to come up and share? All right, well, I've got another thing. If I can find this one. This is a dream I had in Milan. I actually went to Milan. This was a miracle in itself. I don't deserve it, but it happened. A private jet trip to Milan with my wife. And it was amazing. And we went into front of the Duomo, and I practiced these forms that I'm teaching in advance, not even having a YouTube channel at the time. And now I'm using that footage on my YouTube channels to tell the story of the forms. So, but this is a true story that happened in Milan, and it's something I wrote down immediately when it happened, if I can find it. All right, here we go. To be read while breathing with our eyes closed, said the angels. Manifested my way to Milan. Met an angel in the piazza of the Duomo. Was visited by a demon in the night. Restlessness abounded until I saw the truth. The truth was a glimmer. I had to wake and write it down. If you're given a message, you should write it down. I was taught about existence. We exist in our current mortal form, frail and fragile, strong for but a moment, yet weak. Longing for eternal strength, longing for life, longing for eternal life. Consumed with our temporal lives. Bouncing back and forth, captive to our thoughts, a prisoner of our emotions. Every once in a while, we're inspired by something we see, someone we meet, something we do, a moment that compels us into the next with just a little direction, just a little momentum until the next moment. Most of the time captives. Yourselves made prisons. Longing for escape, longing and longing and longing, consuming and longing and hoping, on, clinging so tight to the things that bind us up and keep us lost. The truth is, we're free. We were given spirit. We were given life. We were given time. Every breath is a gift. Every breath is a gift. We give our gift away while unknowing, chasing an idea of what breath should be, and wish we had more, only to throw it away. We trade it for death in every way. What we consume with our minds, with our bodies, with our souls, with our breath. Our breath is our lifeline. Be assured we will live on in one way or another, in photos, on film, the internet, the imagination of others. We'll live on. But we were given the key to make the most of our time, to build the image of who we are on this planet, in the minds of others. Even we do not know completely who we are. We see ourselves in fragments. No one gets the whole picture until one day we can't speak for ourselves as clearly as we wish. We're limited by the words and pictures we left behind. The angel in the piazza. He abruptly entered my presence dressed as a vagrant. He pointed to my jeweled necklace. He pointed to God, and he put his hand over his heart, and he begged for euros. Just as abruptly as he appeared, I shoot him away. Again, with a firm no, I dismissed him, thinking I was protecting my wife and the Italian sister. I was arrogant and cynical, proud. I easily defended mine against the common beggars of Milan. In the night after, finally latching onto ephemeral wave of sleep, I was haunted and tormented by a ghost that would not be so easily dismissed. I was tortured, softly, toyed with slightly. The demon would be cornered only to slip away and resume its torment, slipping through my fingers, escaping my grasp, until I awoke with the message I was given. I was blessed by the angel with the clarity of thought. I knew I had to write it down. The meaning of breathing, the means of manifestation, the instrument of being, the purpose of breath work, just as the Duomo of Milan was breathing, taking it in. The vision was giving me breath. The gift was for you, here, now. Let's be present together. Let's abstain from death. For a few moments together, let's breathe. Let's be thankful and alive together. Let us bind up the imagination that steals us from our moment, and let us breathe together. Be present together. Being present is the key. Being the present is the key. Thankful, being loved, being alive, without taking any action to kill ourselves. Let us not hasten death to our mortal bodies. Let us not bind our minds with worry and fear. Let us instead impregnate the universe with our love and power and our life. Let us breathe. Let us be. Inhale and live. Exhale and let go. Inhale and cling to life. Exhale and trust. This last part was something that I discovered on DMT with my wife. Because I asked, what was my purpose? I want answers. So let's go to the guy. And he had the 5. And we went in deep. And this is what I learned. Existence, simultaneously and involuntarily, completely letting go and holding on as tight as you can. With every subatomic and stubborn particle in your being, completely giving up your last breath while longing and gasping for your next. The nucleus of an orgasm stripped of all sexuality and biology. Hoping and completely loving with everything that's in you for another who is not you, but is you, and constantly reflecting and bouncing the love away from yourself to the one that you love the most for eternity. An infinity mirror. Being lost in the mirror with no beginning and no end, forever blooming and decaying at the same time, to blossom and to wilt simultaneously. Sacrifice and conquest, brilliant light and complete darkness, completely naked and surrendering, an infinite echo of echoes echoing her name. It's always waking up and remembering you forgot and forgiving yourself for forgetting, and it was always her. That's it. All right. Matthew, is there anybody else who wants to share? Should we call it a night? Anybody else? Last call wants to share? Jose, another song? You and me freestyled it a little bit? All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Nervous Ghost. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, everybody. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Happy Halloween. Happy October. Matthew, I'm going to give it back to you.
See if I remember all these buttons. There we go. All right, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to our fantastic guest MC. And on the screen now are all of our socials. I made a blue sky. I think I mentioned it. I don't know if I made it last time, but one of my friends had to make one, so I made one. It's got the cool little butterfly dude right there. So follow us, email us, contact if you want to use the space, if you want to participate in any of the arts nights, any of the events that we have going on. I'm hoping to get some workshops started next year. Hopefully, right, Jose? Like we'll find out this week. But and so always reach out. What we do here, hopefully a big part of it, and I'm glad that Shaun was here, is advocate for mental health, and that art is what unifies us. Art heals us. Art saves us. It's what I believe. Our voices carry strength and everything else. And so please, everyone, have a nice, safe Halloween. Dress up as the scary versions of yourselves. And we will see you next time.